Okay, so chapter 14. There's kind of a lot to this. It's a very long chapter and it requires a lot of practice. So the first thing we're going to do is do this clip, which is a pretty easy clip to do, generally. I come up and push myself in this corner of the gate, not in the corner of the wall here, on the gate. So you want one point just kind of between, like halfway between the bar and the wall, in the seam of the corner there. One just kind of in this corner here, kind of away from you a bit. We're just in the middle of that wall. It's not super precise. You just need to be stuck here. Put the 2 points under you and tilt your way through. It's very, very consistent. It might take a try or two, but I've never had problems with like voiding out or anything. Climb around the corner. And then you're gonna grab the yellow cube. Like that. Quick platforming. And I come over here and throw it like this to line up when I'm basically in a straight line to it. I used to just throw it as soon as I got down here. I would just kind of chuck it off to the side. But I had a couple runs where it missed. And that's always a bummer because it takes a very, very long time. Because you have to go through the portal once and then you realize that the box missed. You have to ride the little elevator back up. And then, like, go back up, get the cube again, come back down, throw it, go back up, go through the portal. That's assuming you don't have a save. Like, other than that, the only option is to do a save. So there is another strat where you can clip through down here. Basically, you just kind of trap yourself like this, and then you just layer clip downwards. I have not found it to be super consistent yet. So, if I find, like, a good setup for it, it would save a lot of time with getting the yellow cube and stuff. And it would basically reroute the level because it would be so much less running around to do. So right now it's not super consistent, so I'm not gonna try and explain it here, but if I get it, I will make a new video. So yeah, I'll go back up here, just threw the cube down, and then it's just, you know, climb around. Okay. So this is the hard part. I'm going to explain what I do here, but you might want to practice and find your way of doing it, depending on just how you feel about your reflecting abilities. So, what I do, to start off, I have a pretty set way to start it, and then I have a kind of general rule of thumb of how I do it, and general thoughts on it. So, first one, these two darker purple blocks here, put a point right there, and put 1 point. It's kind of general, just along this line somewhere in the middle-ish. And the last point just over there. So what this is doing is that it reflects it very level and it keeps it in the middle. That's the important part. Then I make another triangle. It's basically just even with the grid here. Make a nice like level triangle. And then I'll reflect it up and kind of keep it in the middle again. I find that it's really important to keep it in the middle as long as possible, because otherwise you're like bouncing it back and forth and it can take a bunch of extra reflections if that's happening. Whereas doing it like this, you can kind of keep it, you know, samey. When you get to here, you can let it go off to the side like this. It doesn't matter because you're going to be bouncing all over the place now anyway. So this is where you just need to practice reflections a lot. And oh yeah, this is easy to happen. So don't know if you saw this, I've seen this before, but if you reflect at just the right angle, the light beam comes out of the crystal, it goes in here and comes out like over here, then just hits the pedestal and terminates. And so you literally can't continue. You have to change it. But usually you can do something like that. This actually isn't a great this isn't a very good reflection to continue with. I'm going to try and keep going. So This is just something that takes a ton of practice. It's something that I've practiced probably the most in the entire run, is doing this reflecting here. So I try and get that reflection coming out of here like kind of level. Not totally level, but you know, try not to get it at a sharp angle, because then when you come down to this one, I always make an extra platform here just to stand on. You can do a triangle like this and block it straight down. As you saw, sometimes you can get it just straight like that. And then bouncing it back down isn't too bad, generally speaking. One thing to take note of, I'm not going to bounce all the way down because there's not really any more tips. You just have to practice on your own. One thing to note is that you don't really want the laser to get into like this corner area here, because like this would be a bad thing. I would redo the reflection. I'd redo that triangle that isn't coming this way too much, because after you do laser hallway, you activate the 4th crystal down there, you come back up here and you're going to clip through this corner. So when you make this triangle, you want to make sure that the laser isn't going to hit it. So it's pretty easy to avoid, but you just have to be extra sure. Because obviously if it hits this, it'll deactivate the 4th crystal. And then it'll put the force field back up around the altar and get rid of the bridge. And then you won't be able to exit the level. And when you come back here, you'll have a triangle on the inside of this, so you won't be able to remove the big triangle. You would have to like load an old save or re-reflect the laser. Oh yeah, one last thing about laser hallway. It is a red laser, so be careful. Quick save a lot, you know, because obviously it will kill you. So be very, very careful. I always quick save after every crystal lights up, or at least I try to. Assuming I remember to. But yeah, 2 up, 1 over, 3 that way. This is a pretty easy and consistent clip. It's just, you know, the usual clipping distance stuff. Sometimes you come through this wall, sometimes I go through the other wall. It doesn't matter, both ways. You can make that triangle and get across here. And occasionally you'll get a fling to come across. This is the best thing I found for this, because there is technically a way to clip out, but it's very slow. You just have to do this and deal with it, and hope that the spider creature doesn't run around too much. It is possible. No. Come on, dude. Really? I was gonna say it is possible to clip through that doorway. It's just a pain. And it takes forever. You potentially could, but it's not recommended. You can clip out of a corner on the ground as well, but then there's a lot of extra platforming to do. Basically, I've just never found anything as fast as doing this. Okay, and then assuming we don't have, you know, the clip at the bottom, we would run through the portal near down here. So I do have kind of a trick for this one. You want to stay over here after you place the triangles, because they'll be moving down. When you look up, be this point here. Hopefully, I don't really know how to explain which point it is, but hopefully you can look up and you'll see it. And then over this side, it's basically the same point over here. You won't see it from the same angle, but the same point. And then up here, there's this bar right here. When you reflect it, it'll hit the beam straight down. And sometimes this will happen where it'll hit the beam. The bits from the first crate will block the laser beam for a second. You can either try and move it around or just wait for them to despawn. Oh yeah, get rid of that. There is a clip to skip this room, but it's very inconsistent. And the out of bounds platforming is super hard. So again, it's not in the run yet. If it is, I'll make a new video. This is some pretty easy box stacking, honestly. You take the one on the end, put it up like that, and just stack these all up here. Yeah. And remember that when you grab a box, you lose collision with it. So sometimes this will be like in the way here, and then you'll have to jump up and grab it at the same time. Just keep that in mind. You hit the switch, you can jump twice, and then that'll be enough time the gate will open. If you run too soon, you'll bonk against the gate and fall down. And this tile here, this darker tile, I'm gonna go to the left of it, and you'll fall straight down. Just a little bit to the left, not too far, or else you'll hit the tree. Then, yeah, just run to the altar. Oh, yeah, I didn't do a laser hallway, so it isn't unlocked. But yeah, the steps would be there. You just run across. That's all for chapter 14.